Welcome everyone. We're live from Durham, North Carolina at the World Open Library Foundation Convention, Day 1, Conference of Projects, part of the Open Library Foundation. My name is Peter Murray and I am host for these end of the day conversations in the Wolf Den. Joining me today is Neil Block from EBSCO and Jesse Koennecke. No, I missed it, didn't I?
Close enough. Jesse Koennecke.
Koennecke, thank you, from Cornell University. Neil and Jesse, welcome to the Wolf Den.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So could each of you introduce yourself and tell us what parts of the Folio project you work on?
I'm Jesse Koennecke. I'm Director of Acquisitions and e-resource licensing services for Cornell University Library. And I'm part of the Folio Product Council, which is in sort of the governance model of Folio. The Product Council is trying to coordinate a lot of the work of these special interest groups, which are really the experts in their parts of library work, working with product owners and developers to try to get different parts of Folio up and running as an open source library management system. Mm-hmm. And so I'm mainly part of the product council, but I also serve on several special interest groups, internationalization, trying to get it, make sure we don't sort of programmatically kind of lock out any types of currency use or language use within the Folio system. Accessibility, trying to make sure as a staff tool, Folio works for people that may have may use things differently, that need either screen readers or the ability to use a keyboard through the entire system instead of mousing and things like that.
Speaking to the real kind of openness and welcoming of Folio, both internationally and accessibility, the right. Important areas for our project.
And things that often get overlooked in, at least in the history of library tools that I've seen. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Neil?
I'm Vice President of Global Open Source Innovation for EBSCO and have been delighted to be part of the Folio community since before it was even the Folio community, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. when it was just an idea that some of the members of the group, Index Data, the OLE libraries, EBSCO, were kicking around and thinking, what if we did something crazy like build this open source platform? So it's been a fun ride for the last couple of years, and we're looking forward to more growth in the future. I work with libraries around the world, visit them, encourage them to join the community, help in community engagement and building as part of EBSCO's commitment to Folio as an ongoing project.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Great, great. Well, today we had a very eventful first day of Folio. We had a meetup of people that were interested in Folio, about 75 people in the ballroom downstairs. We also had stakeholder meetings for OLE and the Open Library Foundation, as well as a plethora of product council meetings, special interest groups, developer meetings, and so forth. And so, you know, what did you guys do today? What meetings did you attend?
I spent most of my day in a couple different sessions of the Product Council, and I felt it was really good actually to get together face to face. I think we accomplished a ton of really good kind of hammering out of some issues and planning for the future that really would take a lot longer, I think, in our typical online meetings. So there's some things that just work better face to face, and actually really getting to know each other more than our hour and a half once a week interacting has really been helpful.
I heard that there was not kind of in that vein, the roadmap was being talked about, but it wasn't really the roadmap, but it was the process of collectively arriving at the roadmap. Yes. that was being talked about.
Yes, and later we actually talked about what's the Product Council's role in working with that roadmap and having some influence on the roadmap. And so from the beginning of the day, we sort of were presented information about the folio roadmap and where there may be some sticking points coming up in the coming months and the rest of this year to try to, and then later we really discussed ways we can essentially help the process move along to make sure the roadmap really meets its objectives, or we've figured out where we can prioritize the right work to make sure we get folio up and running for some of the early libraries as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's key. It's fun building it, but it's got to be real for somebody someday. Yeah. And we had a whole bunch of people in the room downstairs who were thinking it might be real someday.
Yeah, we had a great session in what we would call a folio meetup, which was designed to give interested libraries an overview of what folio is about, some of the guiding philosophy behind it, and ideas, culminating in live demonstrations of the software as it exists today, so people can get an idea and ask questions about various functionalities that exist in the software as we encourage libraries to adopt folio. We also had the opportunity to meet with some of the collaborating partners that we work with, some of whom are international in nature, so coming from various points around the world. So it was a great meeting to see that come together. One of the nice things about folio is the really unique nature of the collaboration we've seen between libraries, consortia, national libraries, service organizations, development partners, all coming together around a common goal. And so that was really fun to meet up with some of our partners.
Yeah, this was where I spent my day as well in the folio meetup, and one of the fascinating slides that you put up was the world map. And where we've had folio meetups before.
Yes.
Some interesting places.
Yeah, in 2017 we had about 20 different folio meetups. Some of these are organic, that grow up naturally from the library level. Some are put together in collaboration with OLE or with Index Data and with EBSCO. So we've been fortunate to be in all parts of the globe, from Australia to Budapest to the UK to Sweden, all around North America. Jesse, you've participated in some of those. They've been great. So it's always a win, big win if Jesse comes because the libraries love him. He's so knowledgeable and he's a key part of the project. So it's great having Jesse along for those meetups too.
And I don't think I've scared anybody away yet.
No,
that's good. That's good. So one of the parts that I find most fascinating about this project is we're doing so many innovative things, and you know, some of the things that I get passionate about are the concept of the codex or the concept of the platform. You know, Jesse, you've got another day job in addition to participating in folio activities. What's the hook for you that gets you excited about the folio project?
Well, really, I mean, at Cornell University, we've been often pretty innovative, I feel, in our work and in trying to solve some challenges to our work of increasing workloads with decreasing staff levels, wanting to do more with what we've got as well. And folio really is going to give us that opportunity to do that, and that to me then is an investment, essentially putting this time into making folio be what it can be as a library services platform where we can start to build things at Cornell, which might just be for us, or push some of those out to the rest of the community where they can pick them up and really take their library work and other things that we don't know about yet that could connect to that work, really to the next level that we don't really see how to do yet with our current systems.
Well, I've heard Jesse say, and I only borrow from the best, with attribution, of course, that folio will allow a library to really build its own system through this unique microservices architecture that an institution like Cornell could build special add-ons that will complete folio for their library. Other libraries may not need to carry all of that baggage around. for like with a legacy system, they may want to use less and develop in new areas. So that's one area that I find particularly appealing. And then having started off in libraries as a cataloger, the concept of the codex and a unified view of records in this environment excites me. And then I'd love to bring that out to libraries because it always inspires a really good discussion. And we don't know all the answers yet, but we know that these issues are out there, and codex is one way to put a data abstraction layer that allows you to combine different types of metadata in a single view. It's fantastic. So,
I see your eyes light up.
Yes.
Yeah, that must be the cataloger and you coming
it's the
through.
cataloger, that's right.
Well, and it really starts to put a real picture on things we've been talking about for a long time,
Yes.
of not being necessarily stuck in MARC for each and every thing we feel we want to have show up in the public part of our catalog or in various other discovery areas.
Exactly.
Being able to work with what tool works best for that.
Yeah, and as we see interactions with potential development groups and teams, the idea of them being able to work within a normalized data format for different types of content and not have to work through these individual silos is fantastic. So I think that's really where the future of Folio is going to be expressed.
I heard also a twinge of entrepreneurship maybe as well, which is another part that I find fascinating, that the platform will take you pretty far down your road, and what's the new idea that makes sense for your library, and you know, what other libraries might take advantage of that and as part of the community is a passion.
Well, I think there's also a freedom that there will be multiple paths for a library to take to that next level, where within a monolithic system, really you have to work within a very contained and limited environment. But here, if you have resources, if Jesse's library has resources, they can add to Folio. Other libraries could group together or develop or find a group and add on and add to the community code, the open source code.
And I like the potential future of different vendors that may not even be connected to the library world these days could play a role, could find some service they've got that could actually mesh nicely into library work, or concepts in library work that might find a home in other industries, that then using the Folio platform may be a way for them to take advantage of that.
Well, one way I think success could be measured with Folio is, and we've heard this from Sebastian at Index Data, from a lot of us, is when the platform is deployed in a way that none of us ever thought was possible at the beginning. When there's a completely new application that's built on it, and then we'll know that's one measure of success that we'll have realized.
So we're about through time, but maybe in that vein, something that you learned today, or something that came up at a meeting that you didn't know at the start of the day. What was new for you here on day one of WOLFCon?
Well, a lot of it was refocusing things that I did know, but I got to meet some of our partners, particularly involved in what we would call the Folio ecosystem, who are doing some valuable work that will hopefully help libraries as they seek to integrate repositories or long-term preservation into their overall solution and build that idea of partnership even bigger than just a core library system.
And something I got out of today with my product council meetings was really, for the first time, just seeing how passionate some of these other individuals and their institutions are about Folio and wanting to be successful. I get that from my own colleagues at Cornell, but through phone calls and WebExes and things like that, that isn't always as clear. And so being in person just really helps with that.
Correct. One of the things I think that we've all felt is the interest in this initial WOLFCon is fantastic. So libraries were wanting to come, other service providers were wanting to come, and it's really made a great meeting. I think we're at capacity for this.
We are at and beyond capacity.
So
yes.
That's fantastic for a first go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that concludes our first day in the Wolf Den. I want to thank Neil and Jesse for joining me today. We'll be doing the same thing on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Tuesday and Wednesday, not Thursday, Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Invite you to tune in again at that time. And with that, we'll wish you a good evening.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's good.